Okay, let us try to illustrate some statistical analysis using the PSPP. Let's open the program. This is the PSPP. Once you open the program, you will be redirected to the variable view to initiate listing of variables to be used in the dataset. But for now, we will be using pre-saved datasets. So this is the variable view. We have here very similar functions and menus. So from the file, you have there the save, from edit to view, data. Note that there are very limited functions for each menu, unlike in SPSS that the drop-down menus contains so many functions, but in PSPP we have a very minimalist interface, and those functions that are usually used are only seen. Okay, under the analyze, we have different analysis: descriptive, comparison, univariate, bivariate, k-means, factor, reliability, regression, and non-parametric. So let's try to open mental health awareness data. Take note that we can only open .sav files. So these are .sav files, so we can open them up using the PSPP file program. So open. This is the data of the mental health awareness.sav. And on the variable view, you can see the different variable names, their specific labels, their values, and their measures. So let's try to create a frequency distribution table on some variables. This is the frequencies dialog box by default. So we select all the numerical variables or nominal variables, because as we all know, frequencies are only applicable to categorical ones. So we put them under the variables because these are the variables of interest. And under this statistics, these are different statistics that are commonly used. But since we are only asking for frequencies, then we can uncheck this once. Let's go to frequency tables. These are by default. By charts, you may draw bar or pie charts and histograms, and you can use frequencies or percentages as scale of your charts. So let's request for pie charts. Continue. Okay. Unlike in SPSS, the output viewer will automatically show, but on this part, we will be prompted to the output viewer. This is the output of the PSPP that we did a while ago using the frequencies function. Notice that very similar to the SPSS, we have different parts of the output. We have there the file name, you have there this is the syntax, and this is the output matrix, this is the statistical tables or outputs, and these are the charts. So since you requested charts, so there will be a chart for each variable. However, notice that the charts don't have numerical values or percentages or frequencies as reference. That is one of the main differences of the output viewers of SPSS and PSPP. Nonetheless, the tabular results are pretty much similar to SPSS. You have their frequency percent, valid percent, and cumulative percent. And under file, and one thing that I noticed on PSPP is you can only have one output viewer for all statistical analysis and dataset that you used. So despite having working on many datasets and performing different analysis, you only have one specific output viewer. Okay, to under file, you go to export. Let's try to save our output under desktop. This is what I mentioned earlier, that um, you need to put the file name. Let's try to put it as output 1. Sorry, output 1. Before you can save, you will be asked to choose what type of output do you wish to save, to export. SPSS viewer, PDF, HTML, open document, text, PostScript, and CSV. If you want to have a spreadsheet like, use the CSV. If you want to have an SPSS viewer, that SPV. If you want to have a non-editable file, use PDF. If you want to have an editable file, open document. Let's try to have it on open document and save. And let's go to the desktop, since that is where our file destination is. Upon looking at the result, you will see that the exported output has all the contents of the output viewer, including the syntaxes and all the actions that you have made in the SPSS, from getting the file up to asking for frequencies and all the tables that were shown. However, since this is an open document file, a free source document file format, a file program, there would be very limited text formatting, unlike in Microsoft Word, that the tables and the text have a specific formatting. Take note also that the charts are not exported, since this is a document file. So all of the text shall be exported, but not the charts. But let's see if we export this into a PDF file. Let's do PDF and name it again as output 1. And let's save. Let's go to the desktop again. As you can see, they're very similar. You have all the actions that you do, from getting the file or opening the file to the syntax of the statistical analysis, the tables, and the charts. Okay, but take note, the outputs from the output viewer of the PSPP are non-editable, unlike in SPSS. So the charts will not be edited whether in the output viewer or in PDF form. And so you can see the charts are not as pleasing because there are overlappings, there are too many labels and categories shown, there are no numerical values again, and but if you wish to have a chart for your tables, perhaps other programs can also do this. Maybe in this Microsoft Word, they can still insert charts, but not in the output viewer. Okay, let's open again another file. Let's do English literacy. Let's try to check if we can do some descriptive statistics. Let's try to have same with SPSS. You can check if you prefer the variable labels or the variable names. So I want to get variable name so that it would be easy for me to see. So let's try to get this from G1 to G15. Alright, let's put that under the variables. These are the by default statistical measures that will be shown on the output. We can add them if we need other other statistics. Let's do that. Okay, let's go to the output. Again, as mentioned, you will only have one output viewer. So this is the output of the frequencies a while ago. And this is the output of the descriptive statistics that we did just now. So these are the indicators or the labels of the variables that I included. You also have there the valid observations and missing observations, and the mean, standard deviation, minimum and maximum values that were obtained in each variable. Okay, let's minimize and try to open another. Let's do some relationships. Okay, let's try to do bivariate correlation between the two variables SAT and GPA. Take note that the correlations under this only uses the Pearson correlation. Okay, so that is one of the main limitations of this. Not unlike in SPSS that we have various types of relationships. So let's check the flag significant correlations under the output. You have there, of course, the syntax and then the tabular result. So you have a significant correlation with an indicator of letter A. In SPSS, it uses 1 or 2 asterisks to denote significance at 0.05 and 0.01 levels. But in PSPP, it uses A and B. Again, let's close them up. Let's try to type t-test. Okay. In comparing means, you have different types of t-tests. Let's try paired t-test and compare the pre and post test scores of the students. Under options, you will be asked for the confidence interval. The 95% is by default. Okay. This is the result of the paired t-test. Pretty much very similar to that of SPSS. Perhaps these are the most important results and sub-results of the test. That is why both the SPSS and PSPP show very similar outputs. Let's try to do ANOVA. Let's compare means on the ANOVA. of the blood pressure and the group. Let's ask for homogeneity and descriptives, the post hoc. Let's ask for a Tukey, for example, assuming that the data is normally distributed. Okay, let's go to the output. Again, we only have one output viewer. So this is the ANOVA result up to the post hoc test. Take note whether you put post hoc, whether the ANOVA is significant or not. If you requested for post hoc, a post hoc will still appear, and it's up to you you if you need to read the multiple comparisons or post hoc results. And that's it for the PSPP. That is the very basic, and I also have other different types of statistics that are used, most commonly used.